All right, so the word race, right? By all definition, it's all different talk points. It's in all reality is just midpoints that reach the ultimate talk point. By all definition, race means the same thing. It starts off as a race in the beginning of when the United States was first being formed in dishonest ways, obviously. All of the it was a race for all of the European nations and regimes uh, acquired certain land. Just obviously they didn't earn the land that they acquired. It was thousands of acres of land just given away. So this was to start the race. Let's start the competition and see who could acquire the most wealth and the most land, obviously, and really not land, but the most wealth and the most resources. So that's what this is all about. You know, it's a race. So during the race, right, what becomes racism and where racism actually stemmed from, it's an off branch of that word, clearly, of the word race, because race didn't come out of nowhere. To race is a competition. That's what they call it, a race based this is a race based society. And there are participants, and then there are racists. So the racists is the ones that actually um, do whatever they can, whether it's honorable or dishonorable, to actually get ahead and to get further and to further others by maldistributing wealth and goods and services, um, to get them further into possibly being a permanent underclass like the blacks, right? Like us. So the race, right? The race continues. It's like a whole league. Um, Politicians, the government, um, everybody, all of them, in terms of like their actual nationality, is the Europeans. Obviously, that's the entire. That's that's one entire team that's in the race, and it's a whole league, obviously. But we don't see the irony, and we don't have clarity on what's actually going on. So they're doing these things, and they're becoming, they're they transformed into races, right? Races could be like a pianist, like a scientist. You're just proficient in that area of whichever that may be spoke on, or is doing, or you're doing dealings in at that moment, honestly. But the further you get into it, it becomes more in depth of like prejudice and things like that, where I'm just doing this like someone is physically racing. They're running a race. So all of the people that are running are trying to win in an honest fashion. So they're running just traditionally trying to win that way organically. But then there's the ones that are dishonest and trying to do whatever they can to grab the upper hand, to get upsides on what can be achieved by winning that race. To get upsides on being the individual that is that that's successful in the end of that race. So in hindsight, they would acquire the most. but they trip one person, break their leg, because they might be running at a high speed. You're moving at a high speed. You have motive, and you have what it takes to push forward at a great pace. And I'm speaking generic because it's all linked. It doesn't have to just do with running, physically running. It's like the same thing as running the campaigns, politicians, and things like that. During the course of that, there are things that are frowned upon, that are done in order to payoffs and things like that are frowned upon, and that are obviously not organic and honest ways to win the race for the political for different political positions and sectors. Right? So those people become racist, and that's where the word race came from, and that's how it actually is all intertwined today. You have either you're a racist, right? Either you are a racist, you're prejudiced, or you're just an individual that's competing in this race-based society, and you're doing it in an honest way amongst dishonest individuals, which would unfortunately which would unfortunately just get you honestly nowhere, because you're amongst people that would do whatever it takes, and you're just doing what it takes. They're doing whatever it takes, and you're doing what you think it takes, although it actually takes more than that. They're on a whole nother level of competitiveness. Linguistics and everything that they deal with and stuff is far beyond what the average black mind and African mind is prepared for, what the average black mind can even fathom, right? So that's why you have people like Dr. Boyce, Dr. Claude Anderson, Brother Aaron X. You got the different people, Eddie Glau, different college professors and stuff like that put out the different, the viewpoints and stuff like that to provide clarity in what's actually going on, because it's more massive than our mind is. It's as massive as our mind is actually supposed to be. So we have to catch up mentally before we can catch up physically, and that's what this is all about. They're providing an entire. They're basically providing like an entire, and there's far more scholars and professors and strategists and visionaries and everything of the like that high-minded individuals, different categories that you want to put them in. There's many of them that's out here that's basically creating and forming and refining different philosophy that's good for us, right? Because it's becoming like it's a whole Bible of philosophy. Like Dr. Claude Anderson put out, his books is like a Bible of philosophy. Like it's a mental renewance, a soul renewance, a foster, psychological foster that our souls are crying for, right? And in these books, it can't be just judged by the cover at all. You have to do a deep dive. Everything has to be debriefed, right? That's very important. It's imperative.